Hey guys, it's me, 8744. Today, guys, we have a lot to discuss on match day 2, guys, of the Africa Cup of Nations 2021 edition, guys. And there's a lot to discuss, guys. So many crazy things to discuss. And with coming down to the final match day, we're gonna have our final match to begin tomorrow. Obviously, I'll have predictions for that in several hours from this recording. And I hope you guys do enjoy this match day 2 recap. You know, so we're gonna have our first game here, which is Cameroon versus Ethiopia. Now, for me, Ethiopia really started the game really brightly indeed. When they scored that opening goal, I was thinking to myself, "Are we gonna see an upset? Are we gonna see an upset?" But it seems like for me, when Cameroon are really needing to, Cameroon really loves to come from behind, and you could see that Toku Ikambe is showing, he's proving his doubters wrong. He had a great game today, and Abu Kabar had a really good game as well. And I just think that for Cameroon, man, they're just really clinical indeed. And some would say they're a bit fortuitous to have won against Burkina Faso, obviously needing two penalties, but they got the job done, you know. And in my opinion, they've been the second most impressive nation in the AFCON. And we'll get to first place in a bit, but they have definitely been really, really impressive indeed. And with this victory, guys, Cameroon are officially in the round of 16. And basically, guys, I believe they're gonna get at least a top two finish. Now, whether they'll top the group is remains to be seen, but they will get a top two finish. And so it was a really good performance, man. And Abu Kabar, man, he could honestly get the Golden Boot, 4 goals, and the African Cup of Nations, incredible stuff indeed. I think most of the players, I don't think anyone's close to him in that Golden Boot aspect. So great victory for Cameroon, man. And there's a stat out there that Cameroon haven't lost a home match since 1973, guys. 1973. And for Ethiopia, man, defensively, they were just all over the place. You know, and when you're not defensively solid, and when you're scoring 1 goal, it's difficult to really win matches. So, like I said, for Cameroon, man, big win indeed, and picking up a huge 3 points. Moving on to the next game we have, it is Cape Verde versus Burkina Faso. This was always going to be a very close game, and I knew this game was going to be close. This game was always going to be a close game for the beginning, and we knew how close the two teams were. I even predicted a draw for this match. I almost got my prediction right, almost did. And you guys can see here the shots and shots on target. You guys can tell that Burkina Faso did slightly have the better. They had the better stats, but the possession is interesting less. And it was definitely a very close game indeed. We know what Cape Verde are capable of doing, and I'm not surprised in how Burkina Faso just edges. Because if there was going to be a winner for this match, I would have probably edged with Burkina Faso, and obviously, Barimi Hassan Bande scored the goal just before halftime to give them the lead. And it's interesting how Cape Verde, man, very interesting. And we could see a scenario, guys, on match day 3, where we could have 3 teams be on 3 points. Like Cameroon, um, let's just say that let me see the final match day real quick for this group. Africa Cup of Nations. So we have Burkina Faso versus Ethiopia. Let's just say that both teams draw, right? Burkina Faso, Ethiopia. And then that would be 4. And then Cape Verde, they draw as well against Cameroon. So we could see a scenario where it could be a two-way tie for that 4 points, And even, let's just say for argument's sake, Ethiopia wins, Cape Verde, Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, and Cameroon draw, it could be really interesting. So, like I said, guys, it's going to be interesting to see how this group pans out. And, as I said, guys, big win indeed. Let's move on over to Group B, guys. Group B action. I gotta be honest with you guys. Senegal, man. Oh, man. They've been one of the worst nations in the Africa Cup of Nations. I know this is crazy for me to say this because people come at me and say, oh, how can they be one of the worst when they're basically almost guaranteed a spot in the round of 16 and everything like that. Also, there's a lot of people that are stats merchants, result merchants. Performance is key. Senegal haven't even scored an open play goal, guys. They're yet to score an open play goal in the Africa Cup of Nations. You got to give it up to Guinea, man, because they were underdog in this game. They really weren't expected to win this match. We all expected Senegal to win. Well, not all of us, obviously, but majority of us expected Senegal to win. And Guinea, man, they put up a great performance defensively. And for Senegal, man, I was really disappointed. The amount of chances they missed in this match is quite absurd. And I just think for Senegal, man, they need a striker because this guy right here is just not it for the striker. They need to get a better striker. And I don't think Mane is the guy. And I think for Senegal, they need to have a clinical number 9. And for me, that's why when people told me Senegal was one of the favorites, and yeah, I do rate them. I think they have a brilliant squad on paper, but they just like the killer instinct. And you know why I say this is because of what happened in the last AFCON 2019. Because let's be real, guys, Senegal should have won that final. Senegal should have won that final. They were the much better team in the final, but they just couldn't score. And that is why I just never really had them winning this. Even I had them going out in the quarterfinals. And even now, given how Senegal have been poor, I maybe could see them flopping early. I could even maybe see them going out the round of 16, perhaps. Maybe that might be a bit of a stretch, some would say. But it's just, they've just not been good enough, man. They just haven't been good enough. And I'm just not really sure I just think that Senegal, they just lack the killer instinct in the final third. And they lack that true number 9, you know. Give it out to Guinea, though. Defensively, they were solid. A back three, and we know how difficult it is to break that back three. And as I said, man, for Senegal in particular, I just think that it wasn't a good performance. It wasn't that very good, and they just missed so many chances. And, with 10 shots, 2 on target, that's very poor indeed. So, yeah, man, like I said, guys, very, very disappointing indeed. Moving on to the other game we have here. We have Mali versus Zimbabwe. And I got to be honest with you, I feel so bad for Zimbabwe. They played really well indeed. Scoring the goal just before halftime, putting themselves in a great, great position to actually advance to the Africa Cup of Nations round of 16, which they have never been able to do so. This would have been the first time to do so, only for Mango to get one goal to equalize just before halftime, and then to score the breakaway goal in the second half to give Mali a crucial 3 points. And the sad part is that you look at the stats in particular, Zimbabwe played better. They had more shots, more on target, more possession, more passes, better passes. They basically had better stats, but they weren't unable to win this match. And you know what the crazier part is? Mali only had 2 shots on target and put both those goals in the back of the net. And that's the crazy part about this is that, like I said, you just have to be clinical. And I just think that for me, when you're not clinical in the final third, you're begging to concede. And it's difficult for teams like that. For Zimbabwe in particular, it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. And and as I said, they got to be kicking themselves because this is a game in which they needed to basically win. And I believe with this loss, they're officially eliminated. They're officially eliminated, guys. They cannot be one of the best 4 third place teams. They will finish last because remember, guys, I believe that the tiebreaker is going to be head to head amongst tied teams. If it comes down to points, head to head goal difference, I believe. And if that's the case, then obviously they're not going to go through that. So it's a disappointment for Zimbabwe. I think they'll be disappointed in how they saw because I think they were good in the AFCON. They were very close to getting a point against Senegal, and then of course we know they were unfortunately not able to get that 3 or 1 point here in this case. So very disappointing for Zimbabwe, man. Very, very disappointing indeed. So yeah. Let's move on over to the next group. So Group C, guys. Group C action. We got Morocco versus Comoros. Now this was a really interesting game because Morocco, man, they absolutely dominated Comoros. Absolutely dominated Comoros. And you got to give it up to this guy in particular, who had a fantastic game. Salim Ben Buono had one of his best games ever. And I know people say, oh, how did he have a best game if he conceded, if he lost the match? Dude, there's only so much a goalkeeper can do. There's only so much a goalkeeper can do. And he was absolutely brilliant. And you guys can see right here, guys, the Sun even put an article right here that he pulled off a triple save to deny Morocco from winning this match 5-0. Basically, and he basically is the only reason why Morocco, the game was competitive. Because let me just say this right now, if it wasn't for him, Morocco would have won this game like a landslide. This would have been like a 5 or 6-0, 4-0 win probably. And Comoros, man, they just weren't that great defensively. They, 7 shots, none on target. Morocco, absolutely brilliant. Amila got the goal. Zakaria, Abu Kabal got the goal, and like I said, for Morocco, man, they got the 2-0 win. I believe I did predict a 2-0 win for them, so I got that score prediction right. And for Morocco, man, crucial points indeed. And like I said, they're definitely on course to top this group, guys. And I believe, let's look at the table right now as we speak. Very, very good indeed. And so, technically, they haven't topped the group yet because, like I said, Gabon have that game against them, in which if Gabon do beat them, Gabon would actually take the top spot. And so that game between Gabon and Morocco could be really interesting indeed. So, there's that. So, like I said, guys, very, very big win for Morocco there. And they showed their class, man. They showed their class indeed. Let's move on to the next one. We have Gabon versus Ghana. And I got to say, man, Ghana. This is one of the most disappointing nations ever. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Ghana exit the group stage. I wouldn't be surprised because Ghana have just been that awful. And it's just so sad that Andre Ayew scored a brilliant goal in the 18th minute. And they were just few minutes away just from getting this win. I predicted them to win 1-0, and they couldn't even hold on to a 1-0 win. They had to allow Gabon to equalize. Alevene. And that's the crazy part. It's like Gabon didn't even have a Aubameyang for this match. Aubameyang didn't even play, and they're still struggling to beat Gabon. And it just shows you everything. I mean, the stats, man. The stats clearly show that Gabon deserves something. And a point is a fair result. I think a draw is a fair result. I mean, you could even make arguments that Gabon should have probably won this match just because of how good they were. But like I said, a point at last. And for Ghana in particular, they're in deep trouble now because now they have their final match day in which they basically need to beat Comoros. Because a draw, I don't think will be enough. As one of the best third place teams, a draw probably won't be enough. They're going to need to get a win over Comoros. And they got to hope that Gabon failed to beat Morocco. And so it's going to come down. And here's another crazy part, guys. Ghana's a negative goal difference. You know. And so it could come down to goals scored. And they're going to have to win big against Comoros. They're going to have to win big against Comoros. Here. And I believe Comoros are still in this, guys. Comoros could actually still qualify to the next stage, I believe. Actually, yeah, I think they could still qualify if they like win big versus Ghana, for instance. Like if they win, like let's say 5-0, then they will put themselves in a great position. So for Ghana in particular, man, they got to do this, man, because if they fail to win, they're basically eliminated, in my opinion. They're basically eliminated, and it just goes to show you how far this Ghana team has fallen, man. From being one of the best nations in African history to potentially have reached to could have actually made the semifinals in 2010. We know what happened. We know what Luis Suarez did, particularly now to being a nation that is struggling to even get out of the group stage with containing the likes of Morocco, Gabon, and Comoros. I mean, this is how far they've fallen off. So, I mean, this is really disappointing. If I'm a Ghanaian fan, I would be very disappointed because, like I said, I'm very worried. I'm very worried for them, and so we'll see what they do in that match day 3 because, like I said, it's going to be very, very bad. And, of course, they even have a player suspended for that match, Benjamin Tahiti, 94th minute, just before the game ends. They, of course, had to get someone get sent off. I mean, this is a disastrous situation for them. And if like I said, if they fail to win that final game, they're screwed, guys. They're absolutely screwed. Let's move on to Group D, guys. Group D action, and we had the best nation and the Africa Cup of Nations, in my opinion, and that is Nigeria, man. Nigeria looked amazing, guys. Moses Simon had a really good game, guys. Chikwueze scored. Tayo Anu scored. And I believe he plays at Union Berlin, I want to say. And I think for Nigeria, man, they just look really, really good. This team is looking free. They're looking so energetic, dynamic, creative. And you know what the sad part about this Nigerian team is? Apparently, the Federation wants to keep their coach Agoval only for the AFCON. And then they're going to have this Pacino guy for the qualifiers. And apparently, he's very inexperienced. He's not even had a full season at the club. That is one of the most idiotic decisions I've ever seen for the Nigerian Federation. So if that actually happens, I don't know. I don't know if Nigeria is going to make the World Cup. I don't even know if they're going to do that. But that's for another discussion. But yeah, man, as I said, man, they looked really good. I looked really good. You know, and it's interesting to see how Nigeria are so compact. They're looking great. They're actually looking really good. And I think Nigeria could actually be one of the favorites. I think, honestly, given how well they have done, and given the path we saw, and because I was telling you guys right here, Nigeria have a very favorable path. Like, basically, until the semifinals, they won't have faced any group winners. Round of 16, they'll face a third-place team, and then the quarterfinals, they'll face a runner-up. And then the semifinals, they'll actually face a group winner. So, like I said, guys, we could see a potential clash of Nigeria versus Cameroon as one of our semifinals. And so, Nigeria, man, they're in a great, great position indeed. And I believe they have actually topped this group officially with this victory. So, as I said, guys, huge, huge win for them. And I got to give it up to, man. I was really impressed, man. I was really, really impressed. Though probably the downside is probably the fact that they allowed Sudan to get a goal back. Pauline Kadir got a goal. Let's see. Yeah, he got a yellow card there, Ole Anuya. And it was a well-taken penalty, of course. But as I said, for Nigeria, man, Very, very good win indeed. And like I said, guys, I was really impressed with Aribo. Iheanacho is still good. Ndidi as well. We know what kind of player he is. Chukwueze as well. And so Nigeria, man, they're looking really good. They're looking really comfortable indeed. Egypt have also been one of the most disappointing nations too. And I'll be honest with you guys, I thought Egypt would actually be really good in this AFCON. I really thought they would be amazing because I saw how good they were in the qualifiers under Carlos Queiroz. They have changed so much, but it feels like when it comes to actual AFCON, they've been very underwhelming. And I know obviously they would rather, apparently their coach Carlos Queiroz has stated that he would rather he wants the nation to focus more on the World Cup than obviously do well in the AFCON, which makes sense. Obviously, guys, the AFCON's like kind of like secondary, and these AFCON games are almost like preparation for the qualifiers. You could make an argument for. But here's my thing: they haven't even been that great in the actual AFCON. If you're not performing well in the AFCON, I don't know if you're going to perform well in the qualifiers. Because remember, guys, one of my predictions for this year was that Egypt was not going to make the World Cup, and I think that actually might come to fruition. And I just didn't expect to see Egypt play this kind of way. They've been super pragmatic. They basically have been doing long ball over the top and basically hoping for Salah to do miracles. Now I know understand that they did hit the crossbar several times, and of course I understand that all that thing. But still, Salah, as great as a player he is, obviously we know he's one of the best players in the world right now. He cannot carry this Egypt team. Because I'm looking at this Egypt team right now. Besides Salah, who else is world class? El Neni? Trezeguet? I'm sorry, these players are decent, but they're not world class. There is not many players in this Egypt team that can make a World 11 right now and the best. And that's my issue with Egypt is that I've been disappointed because I really expected Egypt to do better. I really did. And given how there's a lot of on there was a lot of there was a lot of controversy over Nigeria and a lot of unfamiliarity, obviously them a lot of federation issues and everything like that. I really thought Egypt would actually bounce and really put up an opening statement and actually beat Nigeria, or at the very least get a draw. And the fact they were unable to do that is very crazy. And so for Egypt, man, who knows, man? Who knows what this nation is planning? Because like I said, guys, I just don't think Egypt's been great. And and like I said, guys, Egypt, man, very disappointing indeed. They got the win. Obviously, that's what really matters. But still, man, Mohamed Salah. It's crazy that if Mohamed Salah didn't score, this game would have been 0-0, and Egypt might have actually had. They might not even have made it through to the knockout stage. So, oh man, very, very disappointing indeed. And then finally, we move on to Group E, guys. Group E, guys. We had some great action in today's matches, and so let's start with the first game we had. It is Gambia versus Mali. Mali, man, I gotta be honest with you. They have also been one of the most disappointing nations ever. And I gotta be honest with you guys. They've honestly, they haven't even scored an open play goal as well. Just like Senegal, they haven't scored an open play goal. And let me just say this right now, guys. Mali for me just haven't been great. Ibrahim Kone, he seems to love scoring penalties, and I just think this Mali team has just got to do better, man. I mean, with so much talent on player, you got Basuma, you got Traore, Kone, Koyate. You have so much talent. Haidera, you have so much talent on the bench as well. But the fact that they're still drawing to Gambia, well, which we got to give credit to Gambia, obviously. We have to, which Barrow has been really amazing. Musa Barrow has been a great player, But still, this is a team that people had expected them to make a deep run. This is the team that people had as their dark horse contenders. They ain't winning this AFCON. Like, let me make that clear. They ain't winning this AFCON. At the very least, I could see them, they got to get at least around 16. Because if they fail to get to round of 16, we have a lot of issues to discuss. And so, for Mali, man, disappointing indeed, because if they had actually won this match, they would have actually been in the round of 16, as we spoke. But obviously, we know Gambia had a late penalty, which obviously is the difference, and put them at level. And you guys can see it here, stats, everything like that. It obviously favors Mali, which we expected, but still, man, Mali, man, really disappointing team. Really disappointing indeed. And yeah. And Tunisia, man, they turned up, man. Tunisia turned up. They looked really amazing. Kazri, man, he had an amazing game, guys. This is one of his best games ever. And I think for Tunisia, they obviously took their anger out, especially after unable to obviously finish that match against Mali, which we all know what happened, the controversy, referee stuff. and they were able to take out their anger, man. With Matuni getting the goal, Jazri getting goal, and obviously Kazri as well. And for Tunisia, man, they're looking really solid, looking really solid indeed. And they put them in a great position indeed. So, like I said, very very interesting indeed for Tunisia there to get that big 4-0 win. As you guys can hear stats, everything looks pretty good. Mauritania just never really got in the game. 11 shots, 1 on target. They were never really going to do anything this match. Although they did have a good amount of shots, but they just weren't clinical when it comes to final third. And obviously, Kazri, man, what a player, man. What a player he is. And obviously, even with the back five, they still were unable to prevent a big win. So, yeah, let's look at the group, guys. Let's look at the group. So, as things stand for the final match day, guys, we have Gambia versus Mali. Let's go look at the final match day. So, Tunisia, they play against Gambia on the final day. If Tunisia could actually win that match, that put them 6. Again, then Mali plays Mauritania, which you would probably expect Mali to win simply because Mauritania is basically eliminated already. So we could see a situation where Tunisia could be at 6, Mali could be on 7, Gambia could be 3rd, and Mauritania. So Gambia, man, if they actually win against Tunisia, they could actually top this group. They could actually top this group. And it's not going to be straightforward for Mali because we have seen them. They've really not been. They haven't scored an open play goal. They're yet to score an open play goal, and that's going to be very interesting. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And then finally, we went to Group E, guys, and we got two crazy games here. Ivory Coast versus Sierra Leone, and I got to give it up to, man, Kamara, man. Once again, guys, this goalkeeper had a fantastic game. Mohamed Kamara, he had an amazing game today. He had, I think 5 saves this match. He was absolutely brilliant. And for Algeria, man, sorry, not Algeria, Ivory Coast, man. I mean, this was a very, very disappointing because honestly, they should have won this match. They should have won this match. And, you look at that final goal that Sierra Leone scored. It was a goal that they shouldn't have conceded. It was a mistake at the end, and it was a terrible goal to concede. Terrible goal to concede there. And like I said, a mistake at the back, and, able to pounce on. Haller scored. Nicolas Pepe scored. Kamara scored. I mean, it was just a back and forth kind of game. And Ivory Coast, man, they got to be kicking themselves. They got to be kicking themselves because this was a real chance for them to actually solidify and get that top spot in this group and really put authority in this group. And for Ivory Coast, man, very disappointing indeed. And obviously Sierra Leone, getting 2 points against Algeria and against Ivory Coast is quite remarkable. Quite remarkable indeed. And I really didn't expect them to get another point here. I really thought this would be like a reality check for them, but this isn't a fluke result. They have actually played really well, guys. And isn't it crazy that, guys, that Sierra Leone have to play against Equatorial Guinea, and if they win that match, they could actually top this group. They could actually top this group, guys. They could. So, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. This group, guys, might be the best group in the Africa Cup of Nations. And then, obviously, guys, the big upset. We got to discuss about this. Algeria lost. Algeria actually lost, guys. Algeria actually lost this match. And I got to be honest with you guys. I did not expect this. And I saw Algeria. They were struggling. They did not look great whatsoever. They looked really, really tame. And for Equatorial Guinea, the fact that they were able to get an upset and actually win this match is quite remarkable, guys. And, man, Esteban Orzo Fernandez Obeng. Oh, man, what a name. I mean, that's a really long name. But the point being is that they actually managed to get a win here. And Algeria, man, you look at the group right now, guys. Algeria had 3 goals disallowed, I think. They had 3 goals disallowed, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't show here for some reason on Google, but they had some goals disallowed in this match. I think it's 3. I might have to double check there. But yeah, man, what a game that was. And for Algeria, man, they just didn't look great. The fact they were unable to score against Sierra Leone, obviously got to give them credit for defensively. And they were unable to score against Equatorial Guinea. They haven't even scored a goal. And you know what the crazy part about this group is, guys? Algeria could actually be eliminated. Because because they basically have to beat Ivory Coast. They have to beat Ivory Coast on match day 3. And if they fail, and I mean fail, to beat Ivory Coast, even a draw won't be enough, they will be eliminated. Because here's how things are standing. Equatorial Guinea versus Sierra Leone. Let's just say, for argument's sake, both games ended a draw. Ivory Coast and Algeria. If Algeria draws a match, then they're screwed. So this is a group to watch out for, guys. Group E, guys, is a group to watch out for, guys. This is crazy. I am certainly speechless, guys, right now. And like I said, guys, I told you guys that Algeria weren't going to win this thing. Algeria aren't going to win this thing. And now they're at the risk of not even qualifying for the next stage. Oh boy, man. Oh boy. What an Africa Cup of Nations has been. This is, as I said before, guys, this is the most unpredictable tournament in regional, out of all regional tournaments, excluding the World Cup. The World Cup, I'm not really including that. But of all regional tournaments like Copa America, Euros, Gold Cup, Asian Cup, this is by far the most unpredictable competition ever. And as I said in my Discord server, I think this winner of the AFCON will surprise many people. I think the winner of AFCON will not be a favorite. And I'm telling this right now, guys, I think it's going to be it's going to be a nation that probably the least of people. It's going to be a nation that will surprise many people. Obviously, I don't know which one's going to be, but I think this AFCON's been great. So that's it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this extensive roundup. It's been a good roundup, guys. I want you guys to comment down below your thoughts on these matches. Of course, there are probably some other thoughts I could have mentioned as well. I know there's some other things I could have mentioned, but like I said, guys, so much to discuss, and it's so hard to remember every single thing. So remember, guys, if you do enjoy this Africa Cup of Nations, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Like this video as well, helps the channel grow. Comment down below your thoughts. Make sure you guys check out me and my other platforms, list in the description below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.